Have you noticed that by the end of the day, your legs feel heavy, almost like they're filled with concrete instead of blood? Maybe your feet get cold for no reason, or you see slight swelling around your ankles and think it's just getting older. And here's the worrying part. Most people ignore these signs until something serious forces their attention. Tonight could feel different for you, because what you're about to learn isn't a generic drink more water and walk more explanation. There's a simple, 30-second self-check that can quietly reveal what's really happening inside your circulation system. Long before it turns into something dangerous for your legs, your heart, or even your energy levels. And the surprising part, poor circulation rarely starts where people think it does. It doesn't begin in the legs. It starts much deeper, in a slowdown of pressure, flow, and tiny vessel function that most people never notice until damage is already underway. Let's break this down in a way that actually makes sense without medical confusion. Think of your circulation like a city's highway system. Your heart is the central pump station. Your arteries are the main highways, and your tiny capillaries are like narrow side streets, delivering oxygen to every neighborhood in your body. Now imagine traffic starts slowing down, not because the engine stopped, but because small roadblocks begin forming on the side streets. At first, you don't notice it, but over time, delivery slows, energy drops, and certain areas start feeling cut off. That's exactly what poor circulation feels like in real life. And the problem is, your body is incredibly good at compensating until it suddenly isn't. So before we go into what actually fixes this, I want you to try something small with me. It takes less than 30 seconds, and it could give you a very clear signal about your circulation right now. After you try it, come back and share what you noticed. Because the difference between normal and reduced flow is often more obvious than people expect. Now here's how we begin understanding this properly. Most people think circulation problems are just about blocked arteries. That's the surface explanation. But underneath that, there's a deeper issue. Your blood vessels lose flexibility. Your muscles stop helping push blood upward efficiently, and your nervous system becomes less responsive in regulating flow. So even if nothing is blocked, the system becomes sluggish. Like traffic moving through a city where the traffic lights are out of sync. And that's why people often feel symptoms like cold feet, numbness, tingling, restless legs at night, or that heavy dragging sensation after sitting or standing too long. It's not just blood, it's flow coordination. Now let's go step by step through the real reset process. I'm going to show you a simple 5-step progression. It works like a system reboot for circulation. Each step builds on the previous one, so don't skip ahead mentally. Just follow it in order. Step 5 is where most people unknowingly start, and it's also why they fail. At step 5, the biggest misconception is that movement alone is enough. People think I walk a little, so I'm fine. But light movement without activation is like turning on a weak water pump and expecting pressure to reach the top floor of a building. It doesn't work that way. What actually matters here is activation of the lower muscle pumps, especially in your calves. Your calves are not just muscles. They are secondary hearts. Every time you flex them, you push blood upward against gravity. Without that mechanism working properly, circulation slows significantly, especially at night when you're resting. Here's the instruction. While sitting or standing, gently rise onto your toes, hold for 2 seconds, and lower slowly. Do this 15 to 20 times. You should feel a light burning or warmth in your lower legs. That's a good sign. What you should not feel is strain in your knees or sharp pain. Common mistake here is rushing the movement. Fast bouncing doesn't activate circulation properly. It reduces pressure efficiency. Now let's move to step 4, where things start to shift more noticeably. Step 4 is something most people completely overlook because it doesn't feel like exercise at all. It's breathing. Yes, breathing directly influences circulation more than most people realize. Think of oxygen as the fuel your blood is delivering. If your breathing is shallow, your blood carries less oxygen, and your body compensates by restricting flow to less essential areas. The method here is simple. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2, and exhale gently for 6 seconds. Repeat this for 2 to 3 minutes. What this does is create a pressure rhythm inside your chest that helps guide blood more efficiently back toward your heart. People often describe feeling a slight warmth in hands and feet after doing this correctly. What you should feel is calm expansion, not dizziness. A common mistake is breathing too deeply too fast, which can actually cause lightheadedness instead of improving circulation. Now as we move into step 3, we enter something more physical and more powerful. Step 3 is about unlocking restricted flow points in your lower body. When people sit for long hours, especially in the modern lifestyle, the hip flexors and lower back muscles tighten. This creates a kind of traffic jam in the pelvic area where blood flow slows down before it even reaches your legs properly. The simple fix is a seated or standing ankle rotation combined with gentle knee lifts. Rotate each ankle slowly 10 times in one direction, then the other, and follow with 10 controlled knee raises. Why this works is simple. It restores mobility to the joints that act like valves in your circulation system. Think of it like reopening narrow gates in a canal so water can flow freely again. You should feel light looseness in your legs afterward, almost like pressure is releasing. Mistake to avoid here is forcing the range of motion. This is not stretching for intensity. It's about restoring flow. Now, step 2 is where people usually start noticing real changes. Step 2 focuses on temperature signaling. Your body uses temperature differences to regulate circulation. When extremities like feet or hands stay cold, it's often because your body has reduced flow to those areas as a protective response. The method is surprisingly simple. Contrast stimulation. Take warm water and briefly expose your feet or hands for 20 to 30 seconds, then switch to cool water for 10 to 15 seconds. Repeat this cycle 3 to 4 times. This teaches your blood vessels to expand and contract properly again, improving responsiveness. What you should feel is a gradual warming effect afterward, sometimes even a mild tingling, that's improved microcirculation activating. The mistake people make here is using extreme temperatures. It can shock the system instead of training it. Now we reach step 1, and this is the most important one, because without it, all other steps lose long-term effect. Step 1 is what actually determines whether your circulation improves temporarily or permanently. And it's not physical, it's timing and consistency. Your circulation system is deeply tied to your daily rhythm. When you stay inactive for long stretches, especially sitting more than 45 to 60 minutes without movement, your blood starts pooling in the lower body. Over time, this becomes your new normal. So the key reset is this. Every 45 minutes, you must break stillness for at least 60 seconds. Walk, stretch, or simply stand and shift weight between legs. Why this works is because your body is not designed for continuous stillness. It's designed for periodic movement cycles. Think of it like restarting a slow computer before it freezes completely. What you should feel over time is less heaviness at the end of the day, more steady energy, and reduced nighttime restlessness in your legs. The mistake here is waiting until you feel stiffness before moving. By then, circulation is already slowed. Now, if you put all 5 steps together, what you're really doing is rebuilding a full circulation support system. It's muscle pumps, breathing rhythm, joint mobility, temperature responsiveness, and movement timing. Each one alone helps, but together they create a compounding effect that your body quickly recognizes. And there's one more important thing to understand. Circulation doesn't improve in one dramatic moment. It improves in layers. First you feel warmth, then lightness, then reduced fatigue, then better sleep. And finally, long-term stability in energy and mobility. So don't look for instant miracles. Look for steady signals of improvement. If you want to make this even more effective, here are 2 simple additions. First, avoid sitting with legs crossed for long periods. It restricts flow more than most people realize. Second, after your evening routine, elevate your legs slightly for 5 to 10 minutes. This helps gravity assist return flow back toward the heart. Now here's what I want you to do next. Try the 30-second circulation test you heard about earlier. Pay attention to how quickly your skin color returns after pressure, or how your legs feel after simple movement. Then come back and leave a comment describing what you noticed. Warmth, tingling, heaviness, or nothing at all. That small detail says a lot more than most people realize. And if you know someone who constantly complains about cold feet, restless legs, or tired legs at night, share this with them. These early signs are often ignored until they turn into bigger problems. If you want more practical breakdowns like this, simple real-world health systems explained without confusion, then stay connected. Because the goal here isn't just information. It's helping you notice what your body has been quietly trying to tell you all along.